I hit a wall recently where my gym sessions felt like I was just going through the motions with zero reward. I realized my current workout was failing me because I was still training for a version of myself that no longer exists. It was time to stop just exercising and start signaling for survival. If you feel like you're working harder than ever, but your body just isn't responding, you are likely stuck on this same invisible plateau where the old rules simply don't apply anymore. This frustration is a massive pain point because it feels like your strength is slipping away despite your best efforts. We are going to dive into how to fix this by shifting your focus toward building muscle that actually lasts for life. I want to build a community of people who refuse to accept physical decline, so let's get to know each other. Where are you watching from today? Drop in the comments below. If you are ready to stop wasting time on workouts that fail you and start building a body that stays strong and capable, you are in the right place. I'm committed to sharing the high-authority, science-backed strategies that will help you reclaim your physical edge. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single step in this blueprint for lifelong strength. Let's break through that plateau together. I've come to realize that my body is biologically lazy by design. It doesn't want to carry extra muscle because muscle requires a lot of energy to maintain. For years, I thought just being active was enough, but I eventually learned that there is a massive difference between training for maintenance and training for growth. When I was just going through the motions, my body stayed in maintenance mode, doing the bare minimum to get by. To actually change, I had to stop exercising and start sending a specific, high-intensity signal that told my system that keeping muscle was a non-negotiable requirement for my daily survival. The shift from maintenance to growth is what allows me to build a body that lasts for life rather than one that slowly fades away. I stopped focusing on burning calories, which often just leaves the body tired and depleted, and started focusing on metabolic signaling. By challenging my muscles with purposeful resistance, I am effectively telling my biology that it is no longer safe to shed tissue to save energy. This approach ensures that my body stays in a building state, using the food I eat to reinforce my structure instead of just storing it or letting my strength decline. From a high-authority perspective, understanding this biological switch is the only way to stop your current workout from failing you. I treat every session as a deliberate command to my internal systems to prioritize strength and resilience over convenience. By making the pivot to a growth-oriented mindset, I am securing my physical future and ensuring that my metabolism stays sharp and my muscles stay dense. It's about taking control of your biology so that your body works with you to maintain your independence for decades to come. I used to believe that more time in the gym always equaled more progress, but I eventually learned that junk volume was the primary reason my workouts were failing me. I spent years doing endless sets and extra exercises, thinking I was being productive, when I was actually just digging a deeper hole for my body to climb out of. As our bodies change, we can't simply outwork a bad strategy by adding more hours to the clock. Instead, we have to recognize that excessive volume often leads to chronic fatigue and inflammation, rather than actual muscle growth. I realized that by trying to do everything, I was effectively doing nothing to signal my body to stay strong. The pivot away from high volume meant I had to prioritize signal quality over the length of my workout. I stopped chasing the feeling of being completely exhausted and started focusing on making a few high-intensity sets truly count. By cutting out the fluff, I gave my body the recovery space it needed to actually respond to the growth signals I was sending. This approach is not about being lazy. It's about being incredibly precise with my energy so that every movement serves the goal of building muscle for life rather than just wearing myself down. From a high-authority perspective, managing your training volume is one of the most important steps to securing your physical future. I now treat my energy as a finite resource that must be spent wisely to yield the highest return on investment. By focusing on a less but better philosophy, I am able to stay consistent, avoid injury, and keep my body in a building phase for the long haul. This strategic shift is how you stop the cycle of burnout and finally start seeing the results that your current workout has been failing to deliver. I have stopped viewing my muscles as just a physical trait and started seeing them as my ultimate life insurance policy. For a long time, I focused on exercise to look better, but I've realized that healthy muscle tissue is actually a vital organ that manages my internal health. It acts as a natural pharmacy, regulating my hormones and metabolism, which means that losing it is far more than just a vanity issue. It is a systemic health crisis that affects every part of my body. By prioritizing muscle growth, I'm not just training for today, I'm paying into a policy that will protect my heart, my brain, and my energy levels for decades to come. This insurance policy is my primary defense against the metabolic issues that many people face as they get older. I learned that muscle acts as a massive sponge for the sugar in my blood, keeping my system in balance and preventing the crashes that lead to chronic illness. I stopped leaving my physical future to chance and started treating every strength session as a non-negotiable appointment to secure my independence. Building muscle for life means that even if I face a setback or a period of illness, I have a reserve of health that allows me to bounce back faster and stay capable. From a high authority perspective, managing your muscle mass is the single best way to control your internal biological environment. I no longer train just to get in shape. I train to build a structural shield that keeps me walking, climbing, and living without limitations. This is the essence of building muscle for life, creating a body that is rugged enough to handle whatever the future throws at it. By making this shift, I am ensuring that my quality of life remains high and that I stay in the driver's seat of my own health journey for the long haul. I have come to realize that the first thing we often lose as our bodies change isn't just general strength, but our power and speed. I stopped thinking about muscle as one big group and started focusing on my fast twitch reserves, the specific fibers responsible for quick, explosive movements. These are the fibers that help you catch yourself if you trip, or allow you to move with a sense of urgency. If my current workout is failing me, it's usually because I'm only training my slow, endurance-based fibers, leaving the most important part of my physical safety net to wither away from neglect. To build muscle for life, I had to intentionally reintroduce movements that challenge my nervous system to stay fast and responsive. I began incorporating controlled but powerful actions into my routine, such as standing up from a chair with a bit more pop or using resistance in a way that requires a burst of energy. This isn't about moving recklessly, it's about proving to my brain that I still need those high-energy fibers active and ready. By targeting these reserves, I am effectively waking up the parts of my body that keep me agile and athletic, ensuring I don't just move, but move with confidence. From a high authority perspective, preserving these fast twitch fibers is the secret to avoiding the slowdown that many people assume is inevitable. I treat this type of training as a vital drill for my independence, knowing that power is often more important than raw strength when it comes to real-world safety. By making this strategic pivot, I am protecting my ability to be explosive and coordinated for the long haul. This is a non-negotiable part of my blueprint because I refuse to let my wiring fade. I am building a body that is as quick and capable as it is strong. I realized that the reason my old workouts were failing me was that I was focusing on moving the weight from point A to point B rather than how the muscle was actually working. I stopped using momentum and started practicing what I call selective tension, which is the art of making the muscle do all the work while keeping the joints protected. By slowing down the movements, especially the part where I lower the weight, I can create a massive growth signal without needing to use dangerously heavy loads that might cause injury. This shift allowed me to stop lifting and start loading the specific tissues I want to grow, ensuring that every second I spend in the gym is serving my goal of building muscle for life. Applying this science of tension means I am no longer interested in how much weight I can cheat up using my whole body. Instead, I focus on the anabolic pivot of keeping the target muscle under constant pressure throughout the entire range of motion. I've learned that the body responds much better to this high-quality tension than it does to sloppy, high-repetition movements that just wear down the connective tissues. By being selective about where the stress goes, I am effectively armor-plating my muscles while leaving my joints feeling better than they did a decade ago. This is a smarter, more deliberate way to train that respects my biology and maximizes my physical resilience. From a high authority perspective, mastering selective tension is the ultimate way to safeguard your long-term independence. I treat every rep as a precise communication with my nervous system, ensuring that the signal for growth is loud, clear, and focused exactly where it needs to be. I no longer leave my progress to chance or hope that a general workout will yield specific results. By controlling the tension, I am taking full ownership of my physical development and ensuring that I remain strong, capable, and pain-free for the long haul. I discovered that the reason my body stopped responding to my old routine was a hurdle I call anabolic resistance. It's a stage where your muscles essentially become hard of hearing. They stop listening to the signals from your food and your workouts that used to trigger growth. I realized that if my current workout was failing me, it was because the volume of my signal wasn't loud enough to overcome this internal deafness. To fix this, I had to stop doing comfortable training and execute an anabolic pivot by increasing the intensity of the stimulus to force my cells to pay attention again. Overcoming this resistance required me to change not just how I move, but how I fuel my body to support building muscle for life. I stopped eating small, scattered amounts of protein and started focusing on reaching a specific trigger amount in a single sitting. By flooding my system with the right nutrients at the right time, I am sending a clear, undeniable command to my muscles to repair and grow. This strategic approach ensures that I am no longer just eating to survive, but eating to override my body's natural tendency to ignore growth signals as I get older. From a high authority perspective, breaking through this resistance is the only way to secure your physical independence for the long haul. I treat every high-intensity session and every timed meal as a deliberate act of resensitizing my body to progress. I no longer accept plateaus as an inevitable part of aging. I view them as a sign that I need to turn up the volume on my internal communication. By mastering this process, I am ensuring that my body remains responsive and strong, allowing me to maintain my edge and stay capable of doing the things I love for decades to come. I have stopped treating my nutrition like a simple daily total and started viewing it as a series of strategic doses designed to flip my muscle building switch. I realized that if my current workout was failing me, it was often because I wasn't giving my body enough of a reason to actually use the protein I was eating. Instead of snacking on small amounts throughout the day, which often fails to trigger any real change, I now prioritize hitting at least a 30-gram threshold of high-quality protein in a single sitting. This is the anabolic pivot in the kitchen. It's about reaching a specific level that sends a loud, clear signal to my system that it is time to repair and build muscle for life. I've learned that as our bodies change, our muscles become less sensitive to smaller amounts of nutrients. If I only eat 10 or 15 grams of protein at a time, my body might use it for energy or other basic functions, but it likely won't trigger the actual muscle building process I need to stay strong. By consistently hitting that 30 to 40 gram mark, I am overcoming anabolic resistance and ensuring that my muscles are getting the building blocks they need to stay dense and resilient. This isn't just about eating more, it's about eating smarter and more deliberately to protect my physical foundation. From a high authority perspective, mastering this protein threshold is one of the most effective ways to secure your long-term independence. I treat my meals as an internal pharmacy where the right dose determines the result. By making this 30-gram rule a non-negotiable part of my lifestyle, I am ensuring that my body has a constant safety margin of strength to handle whatever life throws my way. It's a powerful shift that takes the guesswork out of nutrition and provides a clear blueprint for maintaining a body that is rugged, capable, and built to last. I have come to realize that building muscle for life isn't just about the physical tissue, it's about the wiring that connects my mind to my movements. I stopped thinking of my muscles as independent parts and started seeing them as a system controlled by my brain, a bond I call brain-muscle synchronization. If your current workout is failing you, it might be because that internal communication is getting fuzzy or slow, which leads to poor balance and a loss of agility. By focusing on deliberate, focused repetitions, I am essentially cleaning the lines of communication so that when I tell my body to move, it responds with instant precision and power. This synchronization is my ultimate defense against the stumbles and lack of coordination that often sneak up on us as we get older. I've learned that raw strength is essentially useless if the brain can't recruit those muscle fibers fast enough to react in the real world. By executing an anabolic pivot in my training, I moved away from mindless repetitions and started practicing smart power, movements that require me to stay mentally present and physically in sync. This ensures that my nervous system stays as sharp as my muscles, giving me the confidence to navigate uneven ground or sudden movements without a second thought. From a high authority perspective, maintaining this mental to physical link is a non-negotiable part of securing your long-term independence. I treat every exercise as a drill for my nervous system, ensuring that my body remains a unified, high-performing machine rather than a collection of parts that don't talk to each other. By mastering this connection, I am making sure that my physical freedom remains intact, allowing me to move through life with the same precision and stability I had years ago. This is how you build a body that doesn't just look strong, but act strong in every situation. I've made a personal commitment that my future will be defined by my capability, not by my limitations, and I want that same certainty for you. Building muscle for life is an act of defiance against the idea that we have to slow down or give up the things we love as we get older. It's about more than just a workout. It's about ensuring that you are always the most capable person in the room, ready to handle whatever physical challenges come your way. By making this shift today, you are choosing a path of strength and independence that will pay dividends for the rest of your life. I want this community to be a place where we hold each other accountable to these high standards of health and resilience. We are all on this journey together to stop using old methods that are failing us and start using strategies that actually work with our biology. To get the conversation started, I want to hear from you directly. What is one specific physical goal or activity you want to achieve or maintain this year? Whether it's hiking a specific trail or simply staying active with your family, share your why in the comments below so we can support each other's mission. If you are ready to stop guessing and start following a blueprint that secures your physical edge, then you belong here. My mission is to keep providing you with the high-authority, science-backed tools you need to stay strong, agile, and independent forever. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a step in this protocol. Let's stop the decline and start building our legacy of strength together, starting right now.